It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes. Now don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone. And when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend with Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful Cayman Islands. How is everyone doing this gorgeous Tuesday morning? Everyone is good. School's restarting in a few days for government and most places. I think there are a few schools, private schools, that might be starting next week. But I think those are for the younger kids. But for the most part, we're starting to get into the full swing of things. Good morning to all of you. How is everyone doing this beautiful Tuesday morning? Lots of mosquitoes out there, folks. So, gosh, I don't know what to tell you because I'm constantly getting bitten up. Got bite marks on my neck like they're literal vampires. On my arms. You don't even need to have a particular area exposed to get bitten by mosquitoes because they bite right through your clothing. Yeah. They are the the non-superheroes that we did not know we needed, apparently. Anywho, all I can advise is get in and out really quickly. I try not to use a lot of the sprays. I know that there are sprays available that are supposedly okay health-wise, but I try to stay indoors during the heightened mosquito season. Big shout out to the MRCU. They did come by our residence. I think it was last week, doing some spot checks. And, we don't have sitting water around the place. I make sure that, because it'll accumulate in all sorts of really weird places, buckets and all sorts of stuff. So we do have some drums that collect rainwater for the purposes of irrigation, trying to be as eco-friendly as possible, reutilizing the rain But I don't even know if those are working right now, to be honest, because half of Marlon's COVID garden is now gone. So I'm not sure if he reconfigured any of that stuff, but they will find breeding spots that will surprise you. I swear they come through the sink, come up the sink, and I don't know where they're coming from, but boy, do they find you. Always in the bathrooms. I saw one in the shower with me yesterday, and I was like, oh, you want to take a bath, do you? Well, I'm going to drown you in some hot water. And I don't know what kind of survival instinct these things have, but let me tell you, when you're trying to slap them or get them, they sure know the concept and they will fly away from you. So, took me a minute of spraying him with the hose, but I eventually got him. So you've got to ensure that, you pay attention to these things. If you've got young children and babies in the crib, again, pay attention because they are literally getting in the crib and biting up your babies. And a lot of time we're like, how did the baby get bite marks? The baby didn't go outside. Well, the Aedes aegypti mosquito, that's the one that carries a lot of diseases that we are fearful of. Chick V and all sorts of other stuff. So that's also the one that you tend to see during the day. And they come indoors. So the most deadly mosquito has adapted to find us. Listen, these things have instincts like you would not believe, right? Survival instincts. They're trying to survive and take us all out in the process. There's a book I read many years ago. I need to revisit it. I think it was in my Amazon collection. It might have been an ebook. I'll have to check my what's it called again? My prime, not my prime, but what are my ebooks called? Audibles. No, not Audibles. That's the audiobooks. What's the other one called? Anyway, digital orders. Let me see if this is it. Audiobooks. Somebody help me out here. What's the non-audio one called that you can flip through on your devices? Oh, Zeus, you came and opened my door. Hello, sir. Oh my goodness. Now this is going to bother me because I cannot remember. Hold on. Let me just look at a book and it'll tell me. Shop books. They are called, they have Reader's Digest. Kindle. Yes, Kindle. Oh my goodness. I was going to say they even have Reader's Digest on Kindle and stuff now. I got to get back into my Kindle orders because I really used to love it. So anyway, so on my Kindle, I have, and you know what? Now that I talk about Kindle, I don't think I have even downloaded it since Marlon redid this computer for me. I need to start reading again. But yeah, there's a book that I had in my Kindle collection that talked about like facts that you just didn't know. Like it's the most random but interesting book all at the same time. And being the information junkie that I am, I was like, ooh la la, this book sounds amazing. And so I read it and they had stuff in there about mosquitoes that was just like, they're really something else. Them and cockroaches, boy, I tell you. Yeah, they're going to survive us all. But one of the facts they had in there is mosquitoes have killed more people than all of the world wars and civil wars combined. Yep. They are disease carrying, like, oh my God. every imaginable type of disease. Chick-V, Zika, malaria. What else do they carry? Dengue. There's a whole list of diseases that mosquitoes carry, and a lot of them, unfortunately, can be and are deadly to human beings. So yeah, the mosquito has single-handedly killed more humans than pretty much anything else, I guess, including all the wars that we've ever had, because of course wars kill a lot of people. So there you go. Some useless facts for you this morning about mosquitoes. Not useless if you find it interesting, and not useless if you understand that, wow, that little thing buzzing around is that dangerous. Let me protect myself. Good morning, beautiful folks. We got Evelyn, Leroy, Olivia, Marshall, Robert, Faith and Hope, AJ. AJ, are you using your mug? Send us a little picture of you drinking some coffee or something in your mug. Apostle Miller, good morning. How are you? McClone, morning to you. Beautiful. Damaris is here. Yes, thank you, Faith and Hope. Kindle. I haven't been reading lately. Got to do some Kindle reading. I force myself to still read physical books sometimes, although I prefer a Kindle personally. But yeah, some of y'all love physical books. I didn't grow up in that era where I have to have a physical book. I was on the cusp of technology, right? So, I remember not having great access to, what do you call it? Not having great access to, not having great access to computers when I was younger. But by the time I hit university, boy, they were a thing. Had to type your papers on a computer. Typewriters were fading out fast. And the art of learning how to type, that was a thing. I took typing class twice in the 7th grade, and then I repeated it in high school because I didn't learn it the right way. Oh my God, you're kidding, Anthony. Let me go have a look. Hold on. So let me have a look-see. Yeah, so I I learned how to type, and I was actually quite fast, but I had to look at the keys. And even as a high schooler, I knew that that was going to be detrimental to my life. Don't ask me how I knew that, but I was like, nope. Certain things you've got to not just learn it, but learn it the right way. And so I remember we had some elective courses that we could take in high school. And so I decided to take typing all over again. Although I learned it from the 7th grade, I took it again. And this time I was hell bent on learning it the right way. So I remember it was difficult. When you learn something the wrong way, unlearning it and learning it the right way is a challenge. And so I forced myself to pretend like I never knew how to type and just started all over. So when we'd go through our drills, like, learning the home key, and I'm not that great with numbers, I'll be honest, the ones that really require you to stretch your fingers a bit more. I kind of slow down when I have to type those in. But yes, learned it the right way. And there's a guy who sat in front of me in high school who was already going bald, poor him. And I used to focus, he was in typing class with me. So I used to focus on his head, his bald head. That was my zone in point when I was typing. And I was like, just stare at his head. And boy, all sorts of things were going through my brain about his head. I'm like, how the heck is he balding already? And we're just in high school. But anyway, I was like, whatever. Focus on his head. And I don't know, he must have been like, why is this girl staring at me? But yep, the stare was real. And I learned how to do it the right way the second time around. Just makes your life easier when you have to sit here and type a paper and you're like looking at the screen and you're typing off the screen. I worked as a secretary because, hey, that's what you do first jobs and stuff. When I first came to Cayman, I was a legal secretary. So, of course, they make you do a typing test, and you got to be fast and accurate. So, I did pretty well back in those days. And yeah, it helps when you don't have to be staring at your fingers like this and then looking up and down and up and down. So, yep, teach your kids how to type, because I know that I suppose in this day and age, we're losing a lot of these skills. I was so tickled pink when Dragon Naturally Speaking came out so that I could dictate stuff. I mean, I used that for years. It was so cool. I guess now with AI, we don't even need to use that anymore. AI has pretty much replaced those type of applications, but I think it's still around. But it was really cool because I could say, I'm starting new email subject and tell it what the subject was. And then I just told it what to type. And it was like, wow, a lot faster than I could type. That's for sure. Morning, First Lady Jan. How you doing? How you doing? Morning, Patricia. Abby is here with us. So what skill? Oh my God, we're going to talk about the Barracudas. Let me look at the judicial list as well. What skill did you wish you learned when you were younger that you didn't? Is there something that you reflect on that you wish you had learned? I'm trying to think of what else that I probably wish that I had learned. So let me just send this to Renee. 1 second here. A skill I wish I learned. Karate. Yeah, I wish I could physically, do more like karate and stuff. That's a skill. Not necessarily the most, I mean, I think it's useful. I don't know about you guys, but a little karate here and there never killed nobody. Bruce Lee skills. No, seriously, what skills do you wish you had learned? I don't know. That's such a good question that I'm not even sure for myself, really. I always tried to learn a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Wish I learned how to actually invest instead of the old park it in credit union 2% a year for this. Abby, yes, I'm with you there. But it's never too late. You look like you're fairly young. How old are you, Abby? You're not that old. You can still invest, but you see, investing in this jurisdiction is different, I think, than investing in other places like the US. And to be fair, you got to be in it for the long haul with investments. You're not going to see magical returns on your investment as much as people think. It's like you'll see the returns over 40 years kind of thing, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people think, 5 years, if I'm not a millionaire, we got a problem. Yeah. Miss Amelia, good morning. What did you wish you learned, a skill that you learned when you were younger? I'm trying to think what else. The thing about it, though, Abby, I think I was a late bloomer. Financially, I was a late bloomer. And part of the reason why is you have got to go through and have the bad experiences in order to really kind of learn. Does that make sense? I'm trying to adjust my camera here. So, all the mistakes that we made when we were young, having credit cards when you weren't ready to have credit cards, spending on foolish things when you needed to be paying your bills. Those are lessons that I think the sooner you get it out of your system, perhaps, the better off you are. Maybe not everyone goes through that, but I think that when you grew up poor, there is something that you have to overcome on your own, right? So some people are really, really misers, like they're going to hold on to every single penny. But most of us tend to want to like treat ourselves to, Did you guys see the one I posted the other day about finances and how you've got to prioritize? I'm going to start doing more of these videos because these are so good. Let me see if I can find this one. Let me see where I put it. Yeah, so just about, wanting to ensure that when you think about your purchases, for example, you make them in proper order. So let me just see if I can find this one. What order do you buy things in, for example? So all of the things that we like, all of the flashy things, cars, whatever, those should be like the last thing on your list of like 5 list of priorities. So let me see if I can find this one because this one was actually quite good at explaining it. And yeah, and I think some of it does come with like lessons, like you're gonna learn it the hard way or none at all. Hopefully you learn it the hard way, and the sooner the better, right? I posted a video this morning about vaccines. Y'all crack me up about the whole vaccine thing. So these ladies being interviewed, right? And the guy's like, so you're against all vaccines? She's like, yes. And he said, okay, what about polio? Well, we haven't had instance of polio since like 1960. And he's like, yeah, because of vaccines. Oh my God. I just laugh. I can't even. I can't even. I'm just like, what? Say what? No, sir. Y'all be special. No, sir. I'll see if I can find this one. All right, so we got to talk about a couple things here this morning. The Barracuda incident. There was another one yesterday. And I don't know what's going on in the ocean. I don't know if they're especially hungry. Some persons have said that's why we shouldn't be feeding the tarpon and other fish so close to shore because, now they're traveling just up the stream a little bit or down the stream or whatever. Technically, it's not a stream. As Jonathan would say, the sea and not the ocean. So they are, like I said, I don't know if it's the same Barracuda, but something's going on with the Barracuda right now, being especially hungry. And yeah, wow. I heard they may have taken off her toe yesterday. What the heck? Damn. This is no bueno. People are now scared to go in the ocean because of the barracudas. I feel like, wow. Right? I don't know what to tell you. Stay out of the water. I mean, that's kind of hard when people are coming here to enjoy the water. I don't think there's much that you can do about barracudas. I mean, they're sneaky, they're fast, they're going to nibble on you and then run off. I don't want to encourage people to go on a barracuda culling thing because that's probably not good for the environment either. So I don't know what to tell you. What do you guys think about this? It's wild. I wish I had a better solution except the things that we know, but we don't know for certain if she was wearing anything. A lot of people are like, was she wearing anything shiny? Did she have any, a shiny bathing suit on? But it's literally, oh, sorry. It's literally her toe. So maybe she had on an anklet. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know what to tell y'all. You just gotta be careful. You have got to be careful. It is wild out there. I'm scared of the water. Um, hmm. Shall we? I mean, there's so many of them out there. I don't know. I'm not encouraging you to eat barracuda either. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? This is one that has me stumped. I legitimately do not know what to tell you guys. I'm just like, don't eat the barracuda, but also, you know, don't put your toes in the ocean. I mean, who the heck is going to be able to do that? So it's challenging. I was a little bit surprised yesterday when I heard there was just another barracuda attack. I'm thinking, what? Again? That's wild. Like we said last week, there's lots of things in the sea. And ultimately, you just are taking your chance. Chances. That's messed up, though. They look scary. They've got scary teeth. And I'm not afraid to say that I'm afraid of them. You know, seems like the incidents are happening in that particular area. And of course, that is a very, very high traffic area. So I'm not sure. Do you put on little shoe booties? Does that help? If you put on like you know how you have the waterproof shoes? I'm guessing they can probably cut right through that because they don't tend to be particularly thick. Wow. Ay, ay, ay. What a hot mess. You just got to be careful. And I know that sounds silly because how careful can you be in the water exactly? I'm not even sure. What more can you do? It is a little bit scary though. I will not be going to Governor's Beach or anything in that area anytime soon. No, no, no. And then 7 Mile Beach isn't really that far. So, you know. Amiria says, I always wanted to play the guitar. Oh, yes. I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano. Now that you said that, yes. And I'm going to ensure that my daughter does because I'm going to live part of my life vicariously through her. Thank you, Miss Amiria. Instruments. Oh, man, I wish I could have been not really a musician, but I have always wanted to play instruments. I love music. I absolutely love music of all kinds. Classical music, rock music. It depends. Like 80s rock, I'm totally into. I don't know. Is there such a thing? What are y'all rocking to these days? I don't know what modern day rock music sounds like. Country, I have to be in a particular mood. But there's a lot of country music that I like. Hip hop, some of it. And bluegrass. I love like bluegrass, jazz. Oh my gosh. So many music genres out there. Even gospel music. There's just something about a good gospel song. Let me tell you. Yeah. Love me some gospel music. So yeah. Playing an instrument, I think, is so important for your overall well-being. Strong Will says, I wish I had to buy a couple pieces of land back in the day. Well, there you go. I'll join that one too. Remembering when I came back in 1996, you could still get an acre of land in Savannah for $60,000 owner financed. And I was looking at this going, who lives all the way out there? I was like, that's like the country. As a Georgetowner, you know, my head, I was like, Savannah? That's so far. But in town where my dad lives, you know how long it takes to get there. Woo, yeah, I could kick myself. I could kick myself. A whole acre for $60,000 owners financed. That's why now, when I see a little piece in the BRAC, although in my head I say the same thing, who's going to live in the BRAC? It's so expensive there. It's so this, like you find every excuse. But let me tell you something. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. Regardless of what I think about living in the BRAC, land acquisition, my fellow Caymanians, do it. I'm on my third piece in Cayman BRAC right now. This would be a great time for me to do a shameless plug and remind you that there is actually a community there called Ocean Ridge Heights, where you can get oversized lots owner financed. And this is how I've gotten 2 of my 3 lots. And so let me play this for you, because if you've ever thought about a piece in Cayman BRAC, I'm telling you, there is a certain window. Don't lose out on that window. Here you go.
Ocean Ridge Heights offers an amazing opportunity to own a piece of land in idyllic Cayman BRAC, right on the bluff, starting from $80,000. Located in a quiet residential area with high elevation, these lots are ideal for a future home or investment property and are sure to go fast. Cayman BRAC offers a laid-back lifestyle, amazing pristine diving, limestone caves, diverse flora, along with amazing wildlife. Inquire about the owner financing options so that you can secure your piece of paradise today. With only a few lots remaining, these are sure to go before you know it. Contact Crichton Properties today on 345-949-5250 or info@crichtonproperties.com.
So I'm not ashamed to tell y'all that yes, I've taken advantage of the owner financing option. You too as well should do that. Contact Miss Tammy over at Crichton Properties and she'll explain to you how it works. Because land acquisition, I mean, gosh, I could have been so much further ahead in life had I started. Like I said, I'm counting myself as a late bloomer when it comes to better financial decisions in life. You know, totally should have done it all those years ago, but you can't undo what's already done. And in that vein, you often hear me say you're right where you're supposed to be. Listen to this one. Good nugget of advice here.
Whatever's happened is finished. What happened and couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. And if you really embrace that, it completely reconciles your history so you can be at peace. Even things that didn't go the way you wanted, even things that were embarrassing. It couldn't have gone any different because it didn't. And the person you were that made the choice that you made at the time, 1 day ago, 1 week ago, or 10 years ago, was the person who made the appropriate choice. But now hopefully you've evolved and you've grown, so to trust that you'll make better choices.
Yeah, right? So that is just like, listen, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to make poor decisions. You made the decision. You can't dwell on the past. You can't live with regret. You just got to learn and do better. Live Happy says, I learned to sew in high school and bake too. I never forgot how. Bookkeeping should be mandatory in school. It's easy. Great advice. I agree. I wasn't really the seamstress type, I'll be honest, which you might think is strange because my aunt was a stay-at-home parent. And so when she was younger, she did like cosmetology school and she worked in the family business. But then in later years, she stayed at home. So she did all the cooking and stuff. And she wasn't really a sewer, to be honest. I'm trying to think if she even had a sewing machine. But, she could probably needle and thread a little loose button or something like this. So she didn't really do crocheting or knitting or anything like that. But I think that all of those things are amazing. And I love to see people crochet and knit. I have another aunt, Adonia, here in Cayman. She is amazing with quilts and blankets. And she's made several pieces for Gigi that I have tucked away in the, special bin, the things that you're going to do forever. And yeah, she's done like family quilts with like patches of, different things from different family members, just really beautiful. And I really love that stuff as well. So I do have someone, that I'm trying to get to teach my daughter how to knit and crochet. Cause she actually got a couple kits in the US. And so now it's like, okay, sit down and do this with somebody else. We need to do more activities where we get our seniors and our young people together in a location where they teach Our seniors are teaching the children how to do certain things, how to play dominoes, how to knit, just talking to them. I think the more of that type of interaction is so important for our children. And it's becoming more and more difficult to have it like in traditional home settings, like, your parents may not be alive or they may not be in your life to teach your kids this sort of thing. And so I think if we had like a community program in every district, I'm just totally throwing this out here off the cuff this morning. I think if we had a community project in every district where seniors and younger kids got together and did a fun activity, even once a month, once a week on a Saturday at the public library or somewhere, I think that'd be amazing. Having them read to each other and interact with each other reminds me of a program a little bit that I did in high school as part of our volunteer work that we were encouraged to do. And so I had like peer counseling in high school where I sat there and listened to other teenagers' problems. Child, sometimes you had your own problems and you were just like being courteous and listened. Most people just want you to listen. They're not even necessarily looking for advice. Because when they would say like, what should I do? And I'm like, what do you think you should do? I turn it back on them. Like, what do you want to do? What do you think you should do? And then they'd kind of work it through, talk it out, But yeah, so we did visits to the senior homes. And we would sit there and read to the seniors. This is back in the day when we had newspapers. So we would take out the newspapers and we would read newspapers. And so one day I had the funniest thing happen with this gentleman. So they kind of paired you up with the same person for a little bit, and then you'd kind of rotate through to meet different people. And so I was reading to this guy and he was just there, being very cordial, just listening. And at the end of our session, because it was like 1 hour, at the end of our session, I'm like, okay, well, what did you think of the news today? And he was like, he looked at me and he said, oh, honey, child, not honey. He would have said something. Oh, honey, let me put in my hearing aids so I can hear you. And I was like, oh, my mouth dropped open. That I was sitting there talking to this man for a full hour. And he did not hear when he was just sitting there, looking at me, nodding, whatever. He didn't hear a single thing I had to say. He was going to go and put in his hearing aids after the fact. I was like, well, our time is up, sir. I'll see you next week. It was so funny. But I think the takeaway was he probably didn't care much of what I had to say. It was the companionship that they looked forward to. It was the visits, where they just want to see somebody and a little bit of company, and family doesn't always get to visit them on a regular basis. But that was hilarious. I was just like, oh my God. KK says, yes, historical series, even thatching. Yes, thatching is so hard. Mr. Jarlow, when I interviewed him for Cayman Voices, he was explaining to me the different types of thatches, like, 8 string, 16 string. It gets complicated. It might look simple for those of you who don't know anything about thatching, because that's what I once thought as well. But listen to me. There is a methodology to this. And so he was like, well, let's try a simple, 4 string or whatever. And I was like, okay. Honey, child. The fingers were just not designed for thatching. Poor old me. I was like, I can't get it tight enough, getting it tight. And, he was like, with his 90-something-year-old fingers, he's like, this is what you got to do. And I was like, I said, well, clearly I missed that boat. AK says that Pedro would be a nice location if it's not too hot. But there is an indoor space there at Pedro that sometimes one of the visual art societies or something, they do painting and other classes. Listen, there is a lot that's actually offered in Cayman, I must say. But, you got to pay attention to what's happening because you'll miss out on some really good stuff. We need like a central reservoir where all of these things are advertised. Richard says, and the young people could teach the seniors computer skills, etc. If they have them. Yes, I think that's a great idea. I don't know if seniors are going to want to learn PS5, but, I'm sure the young people have something to teach them. A lot of these young kids aren't learning proper computer skills themselves. I mean, they know how to operate a phone, I suppose. They could teach seniors how to talk on the phone. Live Happy says the late, great Miss Glida Forbes used to teach the community how to play the piano. Really? I was with Miss Glida for a time, but I don't really remember her. And I don't remember anything about her, to be honest. Except there is one memory I do remember about being at Miss Glida's. And you guys have to tell me this. Was her house close to where immigration is now? Now they've changed it all up, but close to where the government building is, but like across the street. Is that where she lived? Because for some reason, embedded in my memory is where I feel like that is, where her house was. And then we weren't that far because we were like off of Hospital Road. So Anthony says a lot of this is being done already. I don't think the intergenerational hub is an amazing location. There are things that are happening there, but I don't think we have this seniors and younger people coming together and with organized events. I haven't seen that being advertised or anything. So that is specifically what I'm referring to. But yes, the ministry does offer a lot of things as well. But I have this memory of being at Miss Glida's where one of my sisters, and I can't be sure which of them, I think it might have been Susan, but I'm not 100% sure. Somebody had died. And so she told me that this lady, the duppy, was going to come and get me. And I was like really scared. But she told me that if I tippy-toed, like I walked on my tippy toes, that then she wouldn't come get me. So for a while, I was walking around. I remember this. I was walking around tippy-toed so that the duppy wouldn't come get me. I'm just telling y'all, this is a childhood memory that I have. And so it's crazy that comes out about, because I remember tippy-toeing around Miss Glida's house because I think we were like staying there or something. I don't know. But very strange. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mitzi is wondering if the feeding of the fish is a contributing factor. I mean, it's probably hard to argue against that because we are inviting them in a little bit too close. And, when you're feeding, you're saying, oh, I'm just going to feed the tarpon. Well, you don't get to decide what else is coming in with the tarpon, right? Is it normal for barracuda to want to come that close to the shore where people are standing up in the water and it's taking a nibble of their toes? I don't know. Hopefully DEH, we're trying to invite them on to talk to us about, are they the barracuda experts? Do they understand barracuda behavior? So we're trying to see if, we can have them reach out with some more information. Jean says, if you like the 80s, you're in luck. My mom made me take the piano growing up because we had a beautiful grand piano. Oh, lovely. That she was not going to just let sit as a piece of furniture. 30 years later, all I can remember to play are Phil Collins and Genesis songs, literally. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Jean said I did that too. I read the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal to the same man in his 90s from the 8th to the 12th grade. I only stopped because I moved from New York to California to go to college. I came home from Stanford for his funeral my junior year. Aw. I was devastated when he died. I ended up majoring in economics. And a large reason is because of my years of discussing what I read to him in the Times and Journal in depth. I think your idea, Sandy, is mutually beneficial to both populations. Absolutely. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandra. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Since fish feeding is not really a factor there, what is a factor is that the whole stretch from down in central GT, just above the port anchorage zone, all the way up to like Heritage Club. That is all absolutely no line fishing, no cake zone, except for fry and sprat netting out to 150 foot of water. So ever since the last editing of the marine reserves, there has been no line fishing allowed out there, which obviously is going to allow fish to not have any fishing pressure. So you're naturally going to see an increase in the amount of barracudas out there. Second, there's always a seasonal migration of sprat. Sometimes goggle eye, ocean runner, rainbow runner babies that will always be traveling in the spawning aggregations from south to north. General is what I've experienced over the years. And when they are in their schooled up aggregations, they come close to shore in order to escape the predators, including barras. And that is, I'm just going to surmise it, more probably than not, part of what is happening there, which is, of course, going to attract the barra along with any other predatory species of fish. So maybe what they can do is tell the tourists that if they see, the big dark patches, that they should sort of be aware of that and exit the water, because once you have a bunch of fish like sprats bunched up on the shoreline, the predators are going to come in and use that as a way to attack them and get their food. And then, of course, down by the seaside, there's always been barras. Always been barras there, because they love feeding on the shad and the other small silverfish that are always right up on along the sand shore there, the sand line. Anybody knows that who's ever grew up in Cayman and put on a mask and snorkel anywhere in South Beach. So it's not feeding of the fish, but there's no pressure there anymore in any real way from fishing. So that's naturally going to have the effect of allowing a proliferation. And that's just a simple fact of the matter.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it. 936-2626. Phone lines are open. So some comments coming in. Let me see here, Honey Chow. This person says, yes, I used to go to Governor's Beach mornings by myself. Nothing better than a quick dip at 7 a.m. or 5 p.m. watching the sunset. All these Cayman fishermen need to be out there with their lines to catch the barra. He needs to be caught, floured, and fried. And then they send a little gif of somebody frying fish. What size are the lots in the BRAC and average monthly payments? I'm getting the seniors with young people is the whole point of the intergenerational hub, hence the name. Is it happening? Now that's another story. We need it to happen, folks. Intergenerational. Yes, okay. Thatching is always odd number of strings, so it would be 3, 5, 7, etc. Oh, there you go. Learn something new again today. Odd number for thatching. Okay. But yes, let's get those intergenerational programs going then at the intergenerational hub. Fantastic. this frying of the fish, the barracuda, is so funny though. All righty. This person says that they believe she might have been wearing something shiny, like a ring or something on her toes. Another person says where Amazon Cafe is directly across from government building is where Miss Glita was. Oh, yes. That feels like that's right in my head. Like I said, I don't really have a lot of memories, but that sounds about right. Okay. So DOE has dispatched the Barracuda on Sevma Beach. What do you mean dispatched? What does that mean? I'm not sure I understand what that means. Like they put them there? Huh? What do you mean dispatched? All right, this person says, good morning. Totally agree with your suggestion. I was telling my cousin last week that as the adolescent seniors, i.e. between 55 to 62, could be the bridge between younger generations and a few older still with us, doing arts and crafts, games, storytelling, even some cooking. Oh, yes, the cooking would be amazing. Hello. So many of our traditional dishes, I feel like, are going to be lost. Take, for example, Miss Alrita's. You know, her restaurant has closed down after all these years. Oh, my God. Somebody said, what are you going to do on a Sunday now for food? I don't know, Georgetowners, but I can taste some of her chicken now. I loved how she did her just regular baked chicken. So delicious. Some of her heavy cakes. Oh, my God. I'm not a custard person, as you not custard, cassava person, but she would do the yam cake and others that were just amazing. But no, yeah, isn't there like a kitchen too at the Intergenerational Hub? We can do cooking classes, and of course, CMR will be there to record the whole thing and make it a whole new series. Oh man, I got to talk to the minister about this. I got to talk to the minister. I'm going to message him after the show. We got to get this going. Organize it. I'll help you guys organize it. Oh, thank you so much. Marshall says, yes, I also went to Miss Glita's. And yes, it's across from the government building where the government building is now. It was a greenhouse at the time, and Racket Club was also across from Miss Glita's. I've heard of this Racket Club, and I don't know anything about it, except that I think that's where police used to go and hang out or something. It was also like a police club or something like that. Good morning, ma'am. Says, morning, Sandy. We were at Miss Glita's, you and me. Really? My sister, Donna, Susan, Carmelie, LeBron. Who's LeBron? Marita, Lebby, etc. And it was Miss Una from East End. And yes, we each had to sit beside her at the piano, dear. It was Miss Una that died? So you remember all of this? You must be a little bit older than me, I bet you. Abby says, I would choose a barracuda over a brown bear any day, though. Well, I guess. I mean, a barracuda might only take out a toe. Brown bear might kill you entirely. So, yes. Morning, Lanny. Miss Joy joining us. Are you in Texas, Miss Joy, or are you here in Cayman? Jonathan says that whole stretch of beach is a marine reserve, aka no line fishing, allowed from the shore or by boat out to the 150-foot mark. So, yeah. Well, I mean, we need these. Let me be very, very clear. I'm not suggesting that we go and change any of the protected areas, because I think that those are important. I guess people just need to so the term that they've used, I think it's a fancy way of saying that they killed it. Wait a minute. You mean since yesterday? They killed a barracuda? And I mean, was there only one barracuda in the area? How did they know? Oh, wow. So they killed barracuda since yesterday. What? I mean, good, I guess. I'm not gonna argue with that. You gotta do what you gotta do, honey child. And if it was just one barracuda causing all this havoc, then yes, he's gotta go. Did they give him to somebody to throw in the fryer, or what would they do with him? Although somebody said to me, Auntie, you gonna eat barracuda after he knowing that he just nibbled off somebody's toes? I'm like, listen, we don't know what these fish are eating on a normal. So yes, they're scavengers, they're whatever. So wow, they have disposed of him. Well, there you go. That seems like the simplest solution, especially if it is a Like it's just one fish, like they know it's one barracuda out there causing all this trouble. Then bye-bye, Sir Barracuda. Hot mess. Somebody says that Miss Alrita's spaghetti was also amazing. I never had her spaghetti. You see, I wouldn't even think to go to Miss Alrita for something like spaghetti. I'm just like, give me good old-fashioned Caymanian dishes with her. But that's interesting. So someone who's well connected to DOE says, morning, there's several line fishing zones within the marine parks. A statement is coming out shortly on the second incident. Okay, well, you know, government shortly and hour shortly are two different things. Soon come. Someone says, this reminds me of Jaws, where the authorities said that they got the shark and it was safe for everyone to go back in the water and it didn't impact tourism. We all know how that story played out. Oh my God, no, you didn't. You're not making a Jaws comparison this morning. What a mess. Oh my God. Now that is a childhood. When did Jaws first come out? That is one of those childhood movies that made us all scared to go in the ocean for a minute. This person says, poor Barracuda is in his territory. He did nothing wrong. Aw. What a hot mess. No, I think, you know, if they got to take him out, they got to take him out. I can't be Team Barracuda here when people are losing toes. I'm sorry, but that's not going to end well. So, you know, sorry for him. Jaws came out in 1975. I was only 2 years old. So, but I feel like as a child, it was still so iconic that I'm, you know, you just knew about it. All right. Anybody missing some keys? Crew Road and Arundel Road. It's a set of keys with can't make out the car type. But if you're missing keys, reach out. There is a card key on there, and then a couple smaller keys, and something that looks like black coral, but I'm not really sure. What is this? Hold on, let me show you guys this one. We'll post it on social media. Is that a piece of black coral? Speaking of back in the day, when things that were so iconically 80s, right? Remember black coral? People don't really sell, I hardly ever see black coral anymore. But man, that was a thing. Every Caymanian either wanted a coin of some sort, right? Because that was like a status piece, to have a gold coin, some kind of coin, or a piece of black coral. Do you guys still have black coral around? Have you kept your black coral pieces? Although I don't really see anybody wearing it. And I'm assuming maybe it's environmentally not allowed anymore. But gosh, they used to have pieces. I remember there was a famous black coral jewelry maker here in Cayman. I don't know if he lived here, but he had pieces here in some store. And he had made some pieces, I think, for the royal family. So for many, many years, that was always showing up in our tourism books and stuff. Like you'd sit on the plane and whatever that, what was the plane magazine called? And by the way, whatever happened to that? There's no magazines on the plane anymore, right? I haven't seen any in forever. But you would sit there and you'd go through, and that's when I remember the few times that I would come home, I always felt like such a tourist because in that magazine, you got to see like, oh, all the high-end jewelry of the 80s, like the Kirk's, what do you call it? Kirk Colonel's, their jewelry store, Kirk. What is their store called? Kirk Jewelry? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about, right? And so it was just such a vibe to see black coral and these really masterful pieces of art made out of black coral. Speaking of Kirk Freeport, that's what it's called. A couple of days ago, I had the most bizarre dream about Kirk Freeport. Just random, because who on earth dreams about Kirk Freeport? But I had a dream that I went in the store And I was in there, I guess, shopping for jewelry. And I was like looking around at different pieces and stuff. Don't ask, because it's so not happening. Just really bizarre. And it was a very, very detailed dream about shopping in Kirk Freeport. Anyhow, those were the days, honey child, the 80s. So beautiful. Yes, Bernard Passman. That is the name. Horizons. Yep. That was beautiful artwork. So Miss Yuna. Oh, that's the Obia woman from East End that you guys were talking about recently. Oh. So she died? And then that's who I was supposed to be afraid of? She was getting at me? Oh, Lord Jesus. Or was she still alive at that time? I don't know. So, LeBorn Prendergast, no clue who he is. Huh. Miss Amir says, I'm sorry, but Miss Una was a wonderful person. People didn't know her and was afraid of her because it was always said she killed Edna Baby. All right. So is this the other child murder case that happened all those years ago in East End? And there was some mix-up story with that? Oh, so sad. And the in-flight magazine was called the Horizon magazine. When did that stop being published? Oh my God, Amelia said it was my old wicked stepmother, Natalie, who was known to be the biggest voodoo woman in Cayman, and was said it was her and her brother George who killed Edna's baby. Lord have mercy. We're trying to solve these mysteries all these years later. And I guess Miss Natalie O'Meara was from East End, because this was the one that happened in East End, right? Thank you, Jeannie, Mr. Bernard Passman and Mr. Smith. Black Coral, the jewel of the deep on the commercial. Aw. The airline stopped carrying thousands of paper magazines years ago because it adds physical weight to the aircraft, Sandy, which increases fuel consumption and cost. Eliminating print runs saved millions of dollars annually. But who was printing them? I mean, I don't think the airline was paying for that, were they? I'm not sure. But listen, airlines have eliminated a lot of stuff. Blankets. Remember when we used to have blankets and pillows, and it's all gone by the wayside now, honey child. You got to travel with your own magazines and your own neck pillows. That's for sure. All right. Let me just post these keys up. Let me do that. Again, if you've lost a set of keys, do reach out. We may have them for you. And somebody else messaged me yesterday about some other keys as well. That I got to find that message. Okay. Okay. Little bit of multitasking here. So today at 11 o'clock, we are welcoming one of our athletes, the young man there, this cyclist, Ryan Thompson. If you have the option of coming out, please do. There are going to be a whole slew of people welcoming him at the airport. And I think it's lovely when we do that. So please do come out if you can. Don't forget that somebody's reminding me about a topic that they want me to talk about. I'm going to get there. Please don't forget that the consultations for the Ministry of Health are happening. And in fact, there is a meeting tomorrow evening in West Bay. So you want to come out to these folks. Very, very important pieces of legislation. So I invite you to come out and participate.
As Minister for Health, Environment and Sustainability, I'd like to personally invite you to join me at one of our upcoming public town hall meetings. We're discussing proposed changes to legislation covering environmental health, tobacco and vaping, public health, health practice, and I want to hear from you. Whether you have questions, concerns, or ideas to share, these meetings are an opportunity for open conversation about issues that affect us all. Join us at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 26th of August at the John Gray Memorial Church Hall in West Bay, or at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 27th of August at Constitution Hall in Georgetown. Come out, meet your neighbors, share your perspective, and be a part of shaping the future of health in our islands. Light refreshments will be available, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Think on an okay, man? Get out and explore the legends behind our landmarks competition. Visit any landmark on interactive map, snap a photo or video, then share it to Instagram or Facebook and tell us what you learned. Tag at MYSCH_Cayman and use hashtag legends behind our landmarks for your chance to win weekly prizes and 2 major prizes. The more landmarks you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit Legends Behind Our Landmarks.ky and find out where we from. Brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage.
Health City has now brought in new technology known as the Farapulse system that uses pulsed electrical fields to correct the irregular heartbeat.
So pulse frequency ablation is a form of energy which is used to destroy tissues selectively. And these scar tissues produce short circuits which can lead to arrhythmias like atrial fibrillation.
Chief interventional cardiologist and electrophysiologist Dr. Ravi Kishore has now completed 3 Farapulse procedures. The Farapulse procedure works by sending short electrical bursts through a catheter directly to the heart. The previous method used thermal energy and took between 2 to 3 hours. This new approach takes just 45 minutes, heavily reducing the risk to the heart.
Wow. Modern technology, honey chair. Strong Wilt says, I used to work at island companies and we used to sell a lot of black coral when cruise ships would come in. And yes, I do think it's illegal now to take it. So that's probably why it has pretty much disappeared. But John LaRue says, I miss the Britannia magazine that Leggy used to put out. Melanie, thank you so much, Mel. How's your shoulder, by the way? Oh, poor you, honey child. You got to take it easy. Carol Hay and E.J. Bodden printed Horizons. Oh, I didn't know that about Miss Carol. Aw, interesting. Anthony says we live in a weird world. We took peanuts off of airlines because of so-called life-threatening allergies, and now we're replacing cats and dogs in the cabin. And now we're placing cats and dogs in the cabin. That's a consideration for persons with pet dander allergies. Anthony, I don't know that that's really a fair statement because I don't think that on most flights that I'm on that I hardly ever see a cat or dog. Mind you, a couple flights ago, where was it going? Was that the Tampa trip? I think that might have been Tampa or Miami. I can't remember. But there was a little dog sitting next to me. And poor little thing, he was so nervous. So at one point, the owner, we were in first class and he had to get up and go to the bathroom. And then, you know, dogs get nervous when they're already nervous having to fly. And then when the owner leaves, they get even more nervous. So I was there keeping him company and talking to him. A good little fella. Allergy to pet dander. That's not really life-threatening, first of all. A peanut allergy can be. And I'm not sure that you're going to be sitting in that plane long enough to be impacted by pet dander. And most of the dogs that would be on a plane, which are only the smaller dogs that would be permitted because they're in a small carrier, a lot of them there's no such thing as a fully hyperallergenic dog, but some are less, they produce way less dander. So that's not going to impact you. Anthony, you sound like you got a problem with dogs. What's going on? We need to have a conversation. Not the Nor'Wester magazine. I don't think I've ever seen a Nor'Wester magazine when it was actually being printed. I don't know when they stopped, but I don't believe that I've seen one of those. And so we sold jewelry from the turtle back and black coral. We still have, remember, it's in the black. No, when she did that, we wasn't born. True thing about East End. That's why them East Enders, what? Like, do it? You're making me read phonics here this morning. Oh, the Caymanite is another one jewelry we have. Caymanite jewelry. I think that's still around. I feel like I have a piece or two of Caymanite somewhere. Ask your jewelry. I think that's still around. I think the bluff was made up of it. That's where they get Caymanite from. We really have lost a lot of our culture. I don't remember the Nor'Wester magazine. So Edna was jailed for her child dying, if I remember clearly. But it was Una Woods, Natalie, and a man that killed the baby. Lord have mercy. Cayman crime. We should totally do a crime series just for the Cayman Islands. Edna was mental ever since, and she never killed her baby and wouldn't hurt a fly. Edna was a sweet, sweet person. So sad. Okay. Okay. So, okay, let me just double check the source on this. Okay, this is unclear. All right. Let me just clarify this before we publish incorrect information. Righty ho. Bernard K. Passman, Black Coral, and was the name of the store. Yes. I'm gonna get a bigger boat. Okay. All right. So, you guys want to talk about the port? I haven't really said anything because I don't have any new information, and I feel like we've covered this port issue going all the way back to at least 2022, as I recall. So yes, last week, Thursday, there was an incident at the port where basically they were supposed to have 50-something people protesting, which is a lot. I'm like, damn, that's probably all the port workers. And 26 of the 50-something showed up. The other 20 are cowards. We now know. Everybody, all the guys who work there is like, I thought you were coming. You're such a coward. Anyway, they were out there with their picket signs. And what I can tell you is because of where they're located, it obviously did not take very long for the board and most importantly, the minister to become aware of what transpired. And so in very short succession, you guys saw the video? The minister was there walking in. And they pulled the guys in and said, let's call it a staff meeting. Okay. Listen, the port guys want to get paid money that they say that they're owed. I'm surprised that the government has continued to allow this to be an issue. You got to fix this one way or the other, right? You either need to tell them, we're not going to pay you the money, and that's the end of that. Or because they were being promised from under Kenneth Bryan's reign, as minister, that they were going to get paid. So you see them out there with their little signs and stuff. Pay, what does it say? Pay what? Anyway, I think this needs a resolution. So it says port. I can't really make out what the signs say. They needed bigger signs and color and lettering. But anyway, there they are. You know, people driving by. There goes the minister. I'm sure he was not happy about this situation. He's talking to the guys. And then I guess he went inside. They got them to go into the boardroom and they talked about it. So the resolution that they came to is that the government, the minister, will take their issues to the, oh, good God. Alexa, volume all the way down. So I think the resolution is that they would take the matter to cabinet and see if they can come up with the money to pay these guys. These guys have been saying that they were owed the money a long time. No action has been taken by the board. It's been a lot of back and forth over the years. Previous minister was making promises. Nothing ever happened. In fact, some of these guys that are entitled, they say that they're entitled to this money, have since died. Like legit died. They're passed away. I think one up to like last week or week before something. So now what will happen to their money? Are they going to give it to their family members? It's just a hot mess. Thanks, Anthony. So we'll see if it's finally resolved. And I just think it's high time that it's resolved one way or the other. Either you're going to just be straight with these guys and tell them, look, we don't owe you, we're not going to pay you. But now I understand that legally the time has run out because they've been fiddling back and forth. And I know that it's expensive to fight government, especially because unlike most employers, government has a limited amount of the people's money to fight us with. So when you're mounting a challenge against government, even if it's a labor and employment issue, and my understanding is that SAGCs, they don't fall under the public management law, public service management law, whatever it's called. They still fall under the labor law. And so the labor law is very different, has different, set of elements and sections of the law, entitlements, and so on. So the argument has always been with the port workers historically, and I'm trying to go back into my archives now, that they have been owed this money for miscalculated, like they weren't being paid the correct time and a half, overtime pay, et cetera, et cetera. And they've been fighting about this for a really long time. And they have also, been fighting for a lot of other things that just hasn't been happening. Will it happen? Lord Jesus, we can only hope. Like I said, these people just need a resolution one way or the other. You're either going to pay it or you're not going to pay it. Now, it's unfortunate that the port workers felt the need to even stage, even if it was a 5-minute protest, because I can tell you that if they were really serious about a sit-in or a protest, right? You guys understand how much work the port does? How literally every single banana you put in your mouth, if it's not coming from a local farm, it was imported in. All of our goods practically are imported in. Vehicles, medical supplies, all sorts of stuff. And so keep messing around with these port workers and y'all can see what's going to happen. I'm just saying. Make them strike for a day and you'll see how things get backed up, how grocery stores, shelving gets to be a little bit empty, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know why it's so difficult for the port to get sorted out. It really shouldn't be that difficult. And it has been a hot mess for more than a minute now. And y'all need to fix it. You're not listening to the workers. You're not listening to the community. You're not listening to the people. And I think that lies at the heart of a lot of the problems that the port is having. Right now, I hear people complaining already about Jacqueline Rankin Scott going there and causing havoc. And I'm like, oh, really? You guys would actually be surprised by this. Why would you be surprised? You shouldn't be surprised at this. Because at the end of the day, right, she was causing havoc at the board as a board member. And you still hired her. And so she thinks she's untouchable. And when someone believes that they're untouchable, they'll just go in there and do whatever they want. She's literally already making people's lives miserable up in there. And they're complaining about her. Zero surprise. Get it together, folks. Get it together. So I trust the minister will be able to sort this out, hopefully. Because quite frankly, you know, there has to be a resolution in place. Yes? All right. I'll leave it in his capable hands because I tell you what, he was there in a jiffy. I think he stands what's at risk. Catherine says Unsolved Mysteries should do an episode on all of Cayman's unsolved murders and missing persons cases, right? Oh, I used to love that show, Catherine. Oh my God. What day of the week did it come on? I can't remember when it came on, but I remember I made sure I was always home. This is before we had DVRs and, you know, if you didn't have a tape recorder back in the day, you just made sure you were home when your favorite show was on so that you could watch it. Tony says nothing new, government ripping off the people. Well, this, like I said, has been a legacy issue that previous governments did not deal with. And so this government, I think, needs to finally put this to bed. Jenny says it's a shame what previous governments have done to port workers, firefighters, DH, etc. Let's see what the minister/government can get worked out for them. And there is a statute of limitation. Like I said, there's now a concern that they may have run out of the statute of limitation. But I think the statute of limitation, the rules to how statute of limitations run. And so once you start the litigation, I don't think that the clock keeps running, but I don't know how far they've gotten. Like, I don't know if they've actually started the litigation or exactly what they've done. So it's so unfortunate. And then, you know, a lot of these law firms, let's just be very, very clear, they're there for the money. So if the port workers don't have the money to pay a good lawyer, then, you know, what a hot mess. There's another government department that I'm aware of that has fired a lot of staff and has had a lot of issues going on. It's a smaller department, and so some of their workers have been complaining to me. The saddest thing about that one for me, which is the same thing with the port, is that it is actually Caymanians who are in management, who is the CEO. I think it's CEO is their title. Sometimes they're called director or CEO or MD. But this particular entity, very, very disappointed. Not entirely surprised, though, but disappointed about how staff have been treated and how they've been terminated. And in one instance, the Caymanian staff member went and lawyered up and, you know, then he got a settlement. Of course, when you get a settlement, you can't talk about the terms of the settlement. So we don't know exactly what the settlement amount was, but I think it is very, very interesting that he actually got a settlement. And so I'm going to encourage all of my fellow Caymanians and others. I mean, this isn't just for Caymanians, but you need to learn how to fight. You have got to learn how to fight for your rights. Because if you don't do it, right, you're being abused at your workplace and you don't stand up, you don't fight. What I'm here to tell you is, quite frankly, you are not going to get very far in life. All right? I'm just being straight with y'all. Okay. So do your best. And honey chill. OMG. You know, when I get some good sauce, right? I gotta be on the job. All right, hold on a second. Hold on. So yeah, I mean, you've got to be willing to do what you gotta do. Lawyer up, fight for your rights. Don't make people take advantage of you. And I don't care who they are. That's my basic philosophy in life. Fight for what's right. Hold on. Hold on, honey chill. I gotta help out Renee with a story here now because she's not gonna know about this until I tell her. So yes, understood? All right. What? All right. Hopefully you guys understood the assignment. Stand up for yourselves, folks. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And if you don't do it yourself, then what you going to do? What you going to do? All right. So I would certainly encourage you, you know, you got to find a good lawyer, though, because sometimes they're very difficult to find. Like I said, a lot of them are just about the dollar signs, those dollar bills. Yep. Interesting. All right. Okay. Sorry, I am multitasking. I should warn you. Okay. Oh, I should specify. All right, so we'll keep you updated on the port situation. That's really as much as I can say. I mean, I just know that it's been ongoing for quite some time, and I know I'm personally sick and tired of talking about the port. Miss Scott needs to go now. Some of us know the history. Jay understands what's at risk, hun. Trust me. Like I said, that hire should have never happened. And I hope you get, sometimes people think that it's like a personal thing. I ain't got nothing personal against Jackie. I mean, I guess she's okay. I ain't got no beef with Jackie. But what I do know is she should never have been hired in that job. It's as simple as that. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Listen, you could be my best friend in the entire world. And if you are in the wrong, you're in the wrong. It's as simple as that. Let me just... I do think also that the port they got to get their communications game and stuff together as well. That's a whole other show, trust me. I used to love watching Days of Our Lives. Strong Wilt. Sandy, how can Toy... What? Lately, what's going on with your typing? You got a new phone or what, Anthony? I think that's supposed to be you, right? How can you expect better from the port? And they recently appointed Elliot with no knowledge of port operations and directors lacking a technical background and no specialized staff such as harbors, operations managers, and logistics compliance officers to manage the actual technical workflow. Elliot is that Ravon Elliot? Who's Elliot? And hasn't he been in the job for at least a year now? To thrive as a port director, an understanding of vessel operations, supply chains, and port compliance, safety and security codes, and normally expected by industry stakeholders. Once again, absolutely nothing new here, because when we were talking about the port back in 2022, when then Minister Kenneth Bryan was head of port, and the whole fiasco happened with Beth McField, and we got access to the report that she had written about the safety concerns, the structural and internal organization issues. I am willing to bet you that Bernie, who's Bernie? I'm willing to bet you that Bernie Bush? Oh, that was even after? That was after Beth. So yeah, there was a whole issue with Beth and what happened, why she left the port. And it was just a hot mess. It was just a huge hot mess and then some. And so it doesn't look like it's gotten any better. And so when things don't change and get any better, even under different leadership, I've always said the port board needs to speak to us. They need to explain some of what's happening there. You know, not for nothing, but I think the port is it's an entry of, very important entry point. And so the governor, I think it might fall under her remit as well, because it's considered a safety concern, national security and all this stuff. So we gotta make sure now that we're understanding all of the elements of what's happening at the port with a view to not making that whole situation unstable. But we know, Anthony, that we have people there. And once again, it grieves my heart that Caymanians could be in such a position and actually messing up in the role, in the job, because then that makes us all look bad. And as a result of that, seriously, what on earth? Are they ever going to sort themselves out? I don't know. I have my suspicions about it. But time will certainly tell. And in the meantime, the governor is sitting there watching the situation. And you see when the governor then has to step in and do something, then we're like, oh, well, we don't want public interference. We don't want the UK doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, what do y'all think is going to happen? If we can't manage in our own affairs properly, what do you actually think is going to happen? Wait for it. Hot mess. That should be resized. All right. That's all I can say. I don't know what else what else do you have about the port? The guys are not happy. Let's just put it that way. And I think it should be resolved. All right, former Miss Cayman, Tahiti Seymour is suing the Miss Cayman Committee. Zero surprise there. Thank you, Anthony. Zero surprise. Of course she's suing them. If that was my daughter, I'd tell her to sue him too. All right, so thank you so much. News this morning, you guys heard it here first, that obviously they have called who they suspect might be the Barracuda, who's been trying to nibble on people's toes. We'll put up the news story here on the website shortly. So Mary, good morning, says there are far too many unsolved murders. It's absolutely crazy and deeply concerning. Anthony says many public port authorities are government appointed bodies where boards of politicians select directors based on general administration, public policy, or political affiliation rather than maritime experience, which leads to failure, wastage, and overruns, and they need a private body for operations of the Cayman Islands port. Well, like any SAGC, they have the board and then they have the actual staff. And so I think if there are failings with the staff's qualifications, then you need to ask the board those questions about, basically they couldn't find a director. Did they advertise it how many times? And then they settled on Mr. Paul, and no disrespect to Mr. Paul, but as my memory recalls, he was in the first batch that had applied and didn't get the job, so they didn't hire him the first go round. And then the whole fiasco happened with Beth, and they were trying to tell her, "Oh, just apply for the deputy position. We'll give you that." And she said, "Absolutely not. When a woman knows her worth, she's not playing around with you fellas." And so she said, "Absolutely not. She's not going to be doing that." And to the best of my knowledge, Beth is still on leave all these years. And then, of course, they had her so stressed out that the poor lady actually had a stroke. And so her health was actually compromised. Y'all would not be doing this to me, because I would be slapping some lawsuits on you. Left, right, and center. All right, so speaking of lawsuits, let's go check the judicial site here. First of all, congratulations to the beautiful Tahiti. I do not blame you one bit for suing Miss Cayman Committee. All right, let me see here. Right, so I told you guys that there was a whole fiasco and then some with the committee at so many different levels. And the way in which they treated Tahiti, I feel really bad about this because she is quite a lovely young lady. She's actually really smart and talented. I know they don't necessarily have to do a talent, but she worked really hard for that title of Miss Cayman. And I think it's just a shame how they treated her. And I don't know what this was all about. Dairy has a lot to answer to. And note once again, another entity that nobody's holding accountable. So this young lady, I told you that what they did to her, which I don't even know how they could legally do this, but they had actually had the pageant before her crown contract expired. So her contract didn't expire until, I believe it was like around the 9th of August or something. And they had the pageant several weeks ahead of that and crowned a new Miss Universe. How can you do that when somebody else is under contract? So anyway, she is now suing them. Let's have a look here at the story to see exactly what she is suing them for. She's filed a civil claim against the Miss Cayman Islands organization, alleging that it failed to pay thousands of dollars in expenses related to her participation in the 2025 Miss Universe competition in Thailand. $9,633.33 plus interest and cost. Well, this is a mic drop moment. I'm not surprised. Remember I told you guys that she actually found, and I'm going to send the guy because I know the guy. That she found a donor to help her with the expenses, because they don't tell you all that you're going to crown you, they're going to make you queen, and then they're broke. They have no money. And so she actually found, I'm sending him this right now so he can mull over this article, because I know he doesn't normally have time to read stuff. But yeah, she found a donor who agreed to assist her. And, this is part of her own fundraising efforts. They're not even fundraising for you. And then when she got the money, or the promise of the money, the committee in Derry had the audacity to tell this young lady that you went out there and worked hard to get this money, but now you need to hand it over to us. And that we are going to put it in the general coffers, and we will decide how much of the money you get. Say what? Y'all heard me. This is there's audacity, and then there is this. What? Excuse me? What did you just say? Let me repeat myself in case those of you in the back of the class, where's your hand this morning? In case you missed it, let me repeat what I said. This young lady goes out there, put in a position where they don't have nothing in the kettle for her to give her, to be able to go away halfway around the world on a stage, all the way in Vietnam, and represent the Cayman Islands. No wardrobe budget, no money, no nothing. Y'all need to give up this ridiculous pageant fakeness, right? You don't even have the money. So she goes out, hustles on her own, begging people to make a donation to send her overseas. She found a sponsor. He's got money. He's like, okay, I'll help you out. When the committee hears about this sponsor and this money, they then tell this young lady, I'm going to call her child because she's a child to me. They then tell this poor child that she must hand over the money to them so that they can put it legally. She has to hand over the money to them so they can put it in the coffers, the general Miss Universe Cayman, or whatever they're calling themselves. I think they can't say Miss Cayman anymore. The coffers for them to use as they see fit, and then they'll decide what of that they're going to give her to go to Vietnam with. For those of you listening on the radio, I am sitting here shaking my head like, These people have lost the plot. They are crazy. I mean, what? So, of course, she's suing them now, and I don't blame her one bit. Follow the channel so you can read all the details, but she's got her act together, and I'm happy for her. You got to set an example with these people. You see, they're going to play around, and they're going to do it to the wrong person's child, and I reckon now this is the wrong person's child. And she's doing this in her own right. Good for you, Miss Tahiti. Beautiful young lady. They must be don't know her mama is Melanie and her daddy is a partner at a law firm. So you sit there and think you playing with a little fool from Georgetown or wherever. I don't know. Would she be considered from Georgetown? I think they live in Patrick's Island. That's still Georgetown. Y'all think she was just some little child from Georgetown that y'all could push around? Take that. You better find that child money. Yep. You better find her money. God, what a mess. All right, I want to sue them too. Lord have mercy. What's her godfather saying? He's been on the board for years and would have known about this behavior. Actually, he's not on the board for years. I'm talking about poor Kevin. Leave Kevin out of this mess. He resigned after the whole fiasco with the other one where government gave up the title. I think he resigned after that. Gave up the franchise. This person says what Tahiti has experienced is nothing new. So he's not there for a number of years and the foolishness still continues. No, sir. Yes, we know who her father is, but trust me, she not getting it from her father. She is getting that from her mommy. I'm telling you. Her mommy. And stepfather, they're not putting up with no foolishness. No, sir. So Yeah. This is y'all know the emoji where oh god, I gotta save these to you. You know the one where the lady's like she's got a big jug and she's pouring it full of liquor? That's me this morning, honey child. And I don't even drink, but that is so me this morning. I'm just like OMG. Hold on, let me see if I can let me see if I can save this for you guys where you can see it. I'm just like pour the liquor, honey child. 'Cause that's the only way you can. That's the only way you can cope with certain situations. Like seriously. Oh my god. No, sir. Oh man, I'm trying to figure out how to save this. Do you save it as a GIF file? Let me see. I don't know what file type to save it as so you guys can see it, but it's hilarious. Yeah. You don't see the animation, but at least you get the, oh, there it is. It is animated. Yeah, this is me, honey child. This is me sitting here this morning listening to this nonsense. Give me the rum and fill up the whole, that's, you know what's in her hand? That's an actual blender. She pouring all the liquor in the blender and shaking her head like, Jesus, please take the wheel, honey child. No, sir. Plus court fee, says strong mind and body. Good morning, Miss Ann. Auntie, what can go so? I tell you, this is one of those moments that if you were a drinker, you'd be drinking already. Everything is business, isn't it? No, sir. Well, you know, they put this child out of money. And I mean, what is that even legal? Which part? That they wanted to take her money from her money that she raised? Listen, pageant queens, y'all are in for a rude awakening. Like this person said, this is not new. They put you at much expense. That's why I don't know why y'all be fighting for this crown anyway. Fight for something else in life, but this ain't it. It's just the whole thing is just fake and make believe, and y'all have got to stop with the pageant nonsense. Abolish all pageants, my God. But she's entitled to her money. They have to pay her. And it is what it is. So it goes, honey child. So it goes. Okay, so tomorrow on tomorrow's program, we're going to have the minister, the Honorable Kathy Wilkes, on the program. So make sure you tune in early. And she's going to be talking about all these bills, the consultation meeting in West Base tomorrow. Then we have another one at Constitution Hall on Thursday, I believe. So please tune in early. We're going to go through all the details here. And then on Friday, we have the Honorable, this is part of our Ministry Matters segments. We're going to have the Honorable Ralston Anglin, who is back just in time for school, honey child. So Anthony says, Sandy, if you have time today on the show, can you explain the Cayman Airways refund protect? Does that only protect the airfare? I don't know anything about it. I don't actually, I know something came out by way of press release and Renee did the story, but I haven't even read it myself. So I can't explain it to you if I don't know. So I'll have to get some details on it and see what I can tell you. Someone said, yep, her stepfather's a partner at a law firm and daddy is John. But good, she's doing what she has to do. We cannot make people continue to do this to us and we keep our lips sealed. Caymanian, stand up. And listen, standing up comes in all shapes and sizes. And that includes standing up to what's it called? Universe Committee, if you need to. So yeah, good for her. I don't feel no kind of way. Somebody says the level of foolishness. Oh God, this is another one I need to add to my favorites. Oh, this person has the best images for WhatsApp, the little GIFs and stuff. Oh God, I got to show you guys this one. Some of these are just classic, man. I love them. So The little Chucky doll. Have you guys seen that one? Oh yeah. Oh, I need to add this guy too to my favorites. He has a social media presence where he's always doing these little funny skits and stuff on social media, but he never talks as far as I know. He just does hold on. Let me see if I can get him. So this one is funny. Y'all make me laugh. Oh my God. What would I do without you? What would I do without you? Oh, hilarious, hilarious. But this guy I love. Hold on. So this one's new. I've got to add this one to my collection. And then, yes, this is so fitting for the topic of Miss K-Man. Like bouncing the little Bobby here. Oh, God, that's right. She is for her mama. Live Happy says they waste her money on that ugly national costume from overseas when we have brilliant Caymanian costume designers here. Shake my head. Lord Jesus. Y'all are going in this morning. Bunch of thieves, says Strong Wilt. Marshall says you sue them. Yes, sue them backside. Enough is enough, Miss Universe Committee. Lord have mercy. Caymanians fight for pageant crowns, a legalization of weed. Boy, we crazy. God help us. Is that supposed to be and legalization of weed? Y'all better leave that weed business alone if you know what I know. That got put the nail in the coffin of these young Caymanians who already look like they lacking in brain cells. Legalize that foolishness and you're going to see where you end up. The research to support that legalizing it is going to do anything productive for this country. And in fact, it's going to be quite the opposite. Leave the marijuana foolishness alone. Our young people don't need to be getting any kind of mixed messaging that this is something that's healthy or good for them. Stop the nonsense. You're killing off the few brain cells you have, and God knows some of y'all ain't got none. I'm just telling y'all the cold hard truth. Don't be getting vexed with me. You're taking these young people who are already lacking in everything, and they claim they got every disorder under the sun. Oh, I'm suffering from ADHD, and PTSD, what WZ, double Z, and all this kind of nonsense. And then you turn around and tell them that they need, oh my God, I need to save all these. You turn around and tell them that they need, that it's okay for you to be smoking a spliff and we're going to make it, don't put it on your record. No, nobody not gonna hire you or your smoking self. Don't be ridiculous. This is expression that now sums up what I want to say about this weed foolishness. Exactly. Kiss my teeth. Seriously. Leave that foolishness alone. I don't care how many people voted for it. They're the ones smoking weed and I got no sense in now. Just saying. Something that's going to make healthcare even worse and killing them. That's what y'all trying to promote? Oh, he is funny. He is funny. He never speaks, right? I've never heard him speak. But his eyes say it all. The eyes and the head bob and the facial expression says all we need to know, honey chill. Love it. Thank you for sending these to me. I have a whole stash now of new ones to... I have a whole stash of new ones to save. Oh my God, can I show you this one? This one has got to be Donald Trump. Hold on, this one is so funny. Hold on, honey chill. This is a Trumpster trying to hold his wife's hand and her slapping it away. Yeah, I love it. Hilarious. She's like, "Ooh, don't touch me. Get off me." We haven't had a Donald Trump show in a while. Strongwell says, yep, smoking themselves to death. That about sums it up. What heat. One more time. Don't touch my hand. All right. Let me see here. I'm still having my birthday lunches. I'm going to another birthday lunch today. That looks like Rosalie from TikTok. Well, I don't know who Rosalie is, but this guy is funny. Oh my God, these are so good today. Yes, love it. Oh, I gotta save these in a little folder for when I have a moment on this show, and you know, only an emoji can really express how I really feel. So this is me most days reading CMR news. Be like, what? What did I just read? Hilarious. Yes, honey, child. All right, beautiful folks. So school's back in session. The ministers are off of their summer break and they're coming back in. Send me those GIFs to me. I need some to say, girl, I got a whole collection of GIFs. So definitely I will share. I think we covered most things this morning. Somebody messaging me about a little advertisement. No problem. I'll respond to you. Can't get you booze if it's on the ship. Oh. Morning, Sandy. Yes, Unsolved Mysteries is one of my favorites too. Nice. All right. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything else. Good morning. Some people, like clockwork, always message me and say good morning. Thank you so much. I don't always respond, but I appreciate the messages. Okay. 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 That's it. That's all we got. I think so. Bigamy case moving through the courts. We'll continue to keep an eye on that one for you. He claims that he has an excuse and he didn't actually commit bigamy. I'm just like, okay, this is kind of like, you know, one of those things. You did or you didn't. You did or you didn't. So I'm gonna go read the case file on this one because I feel like somebody's trying to hoodwink us here. And I need to get names so I can then go and do my independent research to see what's really going on here. I'm going to do that because he claims that he has an excuse as to say he didn't bigamy, but yet you got an annulment because the second wife could prove that you were married the whole time. Say what? Okay. Something not adding up here. I'm just saying. Lord, sorry. So we'll get to the bottom of that. And let me just see here. Oh, there's some duplications on the judicial website. Should I tell them about these duplications? Do you think they care? Somebody's uploading documents more than once. Oh. People getting divorced. That's the norm. Strata's suing people. Y'all better pay your strata fees. That's the thing with stratas, you know. You got to pay your strata fees or you'll find yourself in a lot of trouble. Proven Bank suing somebody. Oh, let me see what this one's about. Hold on. Proven Bank, $54,000. Oh. Oh boy. Yeah, honey child, you gotta make sure you pay these people when you borrow their money. You gotta pay them back. Restoration order. Another, oh, this one, who is this one? Clive Jackson suing Michelle Fletcher. Over what? Auto sales and repair business owner. Okay. Michelle Fletcher operates a bar called Archie's, which is located in Shedden Road. Where's Archie's? The defendant's trade and business license is exhibited. I met Miss Fletcher in February 2022 and I sold her vehicle. Oh, this one sounds like some good sauce. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell Renee to do this one. This one full of sauce. And then some. Who's Miss Fletcher? Lord God. Okay. Facial aesthetics notice of appeal. What? Shakina Nia Edwards and Linsford Michael Rankin. What's she suing him for? Let me read this one. Oh, this is a vehicular accident. Indigo Insurance. Ooh la la. Yes. Interesting. Now this one, facial aesthetics, Dr. Janish Grewal, Dr. Jonathan. Oh, let's see. This one is a medical one. The entire treatment. Oh, this is some kind of dental thing, I think. Oh, yeah, it's an implant case. Wow. What a hot mess. Gina Marie Barnes and Philip Antonio Barnes. Is that Miss Gina, the lawyer? She's getting a divorce? What? From Philip Barnes? Say it ain't so. Boy, you never know, honey child. Marriages fall apart every day. Aw. What a hot mess. Lord have mercy. They have a lot of deceased people here. John Matthew Haylock versus Elaine Adassa Millwood, divorce. Verona Leonie Moore versus Clinton Miller. Oh, that file is not coming up. Oh, that's strange. That one is not working. Let me see. That one I got to report because that's not working. Then we have Bogle and Salmon versus Ara Wealth Development. Oh, I reported on that one for rich people problems. We have a lot of deceased applications. One, probate. Cleopatra Francisca Heyman versus Jatina Sharon Bodden, Tex Raleigh. But what? What's this one about? Plaintiffs, Bankers Road, Birch Tree Hill. Father of the defendant, he resides at the property. Second defendant, occupation of the property by invitation. Okay, this is a land dispute. Okay. Oh. Interest in the property, huh? Beneficial interest in the property. Oh yeah, they fighting over land. Land gun. All right. Proven Bank is suing Monique Garcia Watson. No clue who that is. For $55,000. The principal and interest 13%. Okay. Right. Credit facility letter and promissory note. Man, I got to get my debt collection off the ground, man. I could do a lot of these for these banks. So easy. Fluke TMC. Zachary, Mark McLaughlin, and Nadisha Kishwana Carrington. That one's a divorce. What a name. I wonder where she's from. Nadisha Kishwana Carrington. Sounds kind of like an Indian sounding name, but from Kissimmee, Florida. age 33 years old. She is Black, non-Hispanic, according to voters' records. Interesting. Say she's Black, non-Hispanic, boy. Okay. Let me just see what else is on the judicial site. Mark Gordon Woodhouse and Samantha Woodhouse Nee Banks divorced as well. Sometimes you see people on here and you're like, oh, I didn't know they were getting a divorce. One of these days I'm gonna be reading it and see my own divorce. Oh, I'm just kidding. But if it happens, y'all be here live for it. What a hot mess. Financial services, probate. Tina Donald, Joseph Peter Donald, another divorce. Boshoff, they're getting a divorce, whoever they are. Leon Carranza and Jordan Zoza Carrington, divorce again. Ravish Sony trading as Sony's Auto. Somebody being suing him. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on these things for you. Oh, Avcom is trying to sue somebody? Oh my God. Oh, how did I miss this one? Really? OMG. Oh. Ooh, this is a good one. How did I miss this? Oh my God, I gotta send this one to Renee. This one is interesting for more reasons than one. Ooh, honey child. I'm hearing all kind of stuff about Avcom. Wow. This is, oh, let me send this to Renee right now, honey child. Renee, where you at? Where you at in my chats? You need to report on this story, and I'm going to tell y'all why later. This is a whole bit of sauce and then some. Yes. That one is interesting. Oh my God, there's so much more I know about that one. I'm just saying. Yikes. Okay. Wow. Okay. Lord. You know what? I need to do a quick look at something else here. Because this is so interesting. No, public registers. Oh, I was in the wrong search area. Oh. Huh. Wow. Okay. Honey child, I have to go and do some research. All right, let me wrap up with your comments. It's medically prescribed. Direct that negativity towards alcohol that kill. Yeah, it's still killing people, honey child. I don't care what your so-called medical subscriptions say. Smoking, which is what I'm talking about, is a surefire way to kill you. Okay. All right. So if he is married, wasn't regulated, then the Cayman marriage is legal. if the U.S. marriage, Anthony, what is wrong with you and your typing skills this week? If the U.S. marriage wasn't regulated, I don't know what regulated means. You mean registered? Then the Cayman marriage is legal? I don't know what he means by registered. Because when you get married in the States, there's no registration that's normally required. That's the whole, I mean, unless you didn't actually do a legal ceremony. You just got married for the fun of it. And I don't think that that's what happened here. Because I'm sure somebody found a register, like a legal, I don't want to use the word registered because you don't have to register it, but they found a legal document from the court's office that said this man was married. So that's why I'm going to go do my own independent research, because I know for a fact, as someone who's gotten married in the States, once you obtain the marriage certificate, or if you go to the courthouse and get married, there is nothing else, no other registration that is required. So something kind of fishy about that story. But yes, if he wasn't married before, then obviously the marriage that was just annulled a couple of years ago now, I think it's been, wouldn't have needed to be annulled. But obviously that partner, that wife, was able to find sufficient evidence to get an annulment. So now he claims in the criminal case that he can prove that that marriage was never registered, and so therefore wasn't a legitimate marriage. Something is fishy. And like I said, these lawyers, they just show up to court and they regurgitate what their clients told them. And so, yeah. Lawyers, your clients lie and y'all know that they be lying to y'all. And y'all still get up there talking bullshit on a regular. And I'm sitting here going, I'm going to go research that, because things like marriage certificates and so on in the US of A are public documents. Nothing special about that. Y'all be trying to hide stuff in Cayman. It's a public document. So I'm going to get the file. I'm going to figure it out. As a matter of fact, I got a message to the court office this morning to see when I can come by and see the file. Because I want to look at the details for myself, because something not right with this whole story. Okay. Criminal registry. Changed recently. I need to do so and would like to send across the request via email, but not sure if you're using new forms, processes. Kind regards, Sandra Hill. Let me send this off right now before I forget. Registry. .ky. Okay. Mark this important, high importance. Criminal files. Okay. All right. I need to see that file for myself and get some information, because something not adding up. Hey, Gabby says, I hate having team meetings in the mornings. Always have me missing my morning show. Cha. And the Cayman wife illegally filed an annulment. Can he sue the second wife then? This is interesting. Okay. If you're to believe this story, that means that what did she provide to the court that would make the court believe that the first marriage was a valid marriage? So the court is who grants the annulment, to be clear. All right. And it's something not right. And I don't think if the court didn't have an official document to grant an annulment that they granted an annulment. This should be a very cut and dry case. So it's interesting that he has this supposed defense. We'll see what actually flushes out in the end. The article about the man that violated the young girl showing up as a page error. Oh, the Nepalese guy? Strong Mind, it's because apparently we had reported on it before, but the judgment came out yesterday with more details. And so my mistake is I didn't know Renee had already ran the story, because when I tried searching for it on her website, she kind of had misspelled the name. And so I basically did the story twice. I told her, take down the new story. The old story has been updated, so that link is good. So let me share that with you. Because that's actually still, but if you follow the channel, in the channel, it has the correct link. She updated it. So the original story was dropped in June the 11th. So just search by his name, or hold on. Here's the link there as well. But yeah, it's still a live story on the website. We just had to amalgamate the two. Michelle owes everybody money, wholesaler, staff, and people. Wait a minute. Who was Michelle? Michelle. What was that name again? I'm looking, but I can't remember who Michelle is. Michelle. Who the hell's Michelle? Michelle Fletcher? Which Michelle? Child, I was going through that list so fast. All right. Archie's across from Funky Tangs. Okay. All right. Where they always claim all the gambling be going on. Michael or Michelle? Oh, Lord have mercy. Broda and foreign. What? Broda and foreign and only get 2 years. What a rub. Oh, yeah. He's disgusting, though. I mean, I feel low-key that he would have raped that child if he had the opportunity. Feeling her up and stuff. And she's like, oh, do you like me? I mean, first of all, what is wrong with you people? How you be going on the job and be trying to talk sex with people that you don't even know on the job? Oh my God. Cayman Water's not answering? Oh, give you a number that they answer. Can't help you. Sorry, honey chow. Email maybe? So that is, he's a sick person, no doubt. You all need to read the details in the article, because the quicker we get him out of here, the better. Boy, these Nepalese people coming on strong. I'm sorry, but for the latest Asian group that has only come as of late, they be going on with the most. They're really making themselves look bad. It's not him, it's a dumb phone. They're not smart anymore. Who? What the hell? Miss Marjorie, let me get you an email for Cayman Water. Maybe you should try emailing them. Hold on. So, thank you. Good morning. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna go. Can water. Hold on. So try messaging. All right, try messaging. Hold on a second. Cayman Water. I remember the name of the people here. Try. Does the guy's name work there? Donovan or something? Hold on. Oh, Cayman Water. All right. I don't know if this person's still there because this is from 2025. Oh no, that's Water Authority. Sorry. Dominique. Dominique is there as a billing supervisor. Here's his direct number. 814-1901. And his name is Dominique Ebanks. Try him. 814-1901. Okay, honey, chill. All right. The young girl's mental state won't be the same after such an experience. Such a shame, honestly. Yes, let me tell you something. I'm so glad she called her dad immediately and told her dad what happened. And he lucky that her father, not one of them crazy Caymanians that would have gone and boxed him down. Instead, he did the right thing and called the police. Bunch of sickos out here. And we're importing a lot of them too. Really disgusting. What a hot mess. Anyway, tomorrow is Wednesday. Like I said, we have the Ministry of Health on to talk about those bills, so please tune in for that. If you've been missing it, I'm going to play a couple messages here now in relation to that. And then we'll have a good discussion about that tomorrow, okay? Make sure you go out to the consultations if you need to. If not, tune in and you can find out how to participate in them even online. Mm-hmm.
The government is inviting the public to share their views on proposed changes to tobacco and vaping laws. The proposal aims to protect our young people, strengthen vaping rules, and address concerns about disposable vapes. We want to hear from parents, educators, businesses, and the wider community. The consultation opens on the 21st of August. Log on to publicconsultation.gov.ky to help shape the future of tobacco and vaping policy in the Cayman Islands.
As Minister for Health, Environment and Sustainability, I'd like to personally invite you to join me at one of our upcoming public town hall meetings. We're discussing proposed changes to legislation covering environmental health, tobacco and vaping, public health, health practice, and I want to hear from you. Whether you have questions, concerns, or ideas to share, these meetings are an opportunity for open conversation about issues that affect us all. Join us at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 26th of August at the John Gray Memorial Church Hall in West Bay, or at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 27th of August at Constitution Hall in Georgetown. Come out, meet your neighbors, share your perspective, and be a part of shaping the future of health in our islands. Light refreshments will be available, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Think on an okay, man? Get out and explore the legends behind our landmarks competition. Visit any landmark on interactive map, snap a photo or video, then share it to Instagram or Facebook and tell us what you learned. Tag at MYSCH_Cayman and use hashtag legends behind our landmarks for your chance to win weekly prizes and 2 major prizes. The more landmarks you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit Legends Behind Our Landmarks.ky and find out where we from. Brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage.
First of all, I must extend my sincere gratitude to Health City for providing this opportunity for our students from Edna Mall Primary. This field trip is very beneficial to them as it provides a first-hand experience of the medical field. It exposes them to different career paths in the medical field, and it also provides practical examples of science concepts that they have learned in class, so this will further reinforce what they have been learning. Since I've been at Edna Mall Primary School for the past 6 years and science lead, Health City has been our only sponsor for our science fair, and for that we are truly grateful.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.